Hello and welcome to Box, where we unbox, review and demonstrate the latest tech. Today we have with us the LG B2 in 55 inches. Released in 2022 as a part of the LG OLED range, the B2 is the middle ground between the budget A2 model and the popular C2. Though there have been some visible changes from LG this year, like all the new Eco boxes and a few shake-ups to the design, the new range is familiar to the one you loved last year, but with some impressive upgrades to the display and the processing power along the way. Opening up the box, you get the usual bag full of your accessories, along with a back panel cover. As it's the 55-inch model, it's pretty lightweight and easy to maneuver. Just as I've come to expect from LG, the display is already looking ridiculously thin, which is brilliant for one of their budget models. Alongside the TV, you'll find all the accessories you need to set it up and enjoy, including the stand and screws, a cover plate and clip for cable management, the magic remote and batteries, and finally a handful of user guides and information. Lying the TV face down on a covered surface, you'll find the design is pretty familiar, with the thin OLED panel and the short protruding processing box fixed to the back along the bottom half of the display. After seeing the much more evenly weighted back on the C2, I'm surprised to still see this design at play here, but overall it's still that clean, minimal look that doesn't distract from the display. The power cable is fixed to the back, but it is a decent length, measuring at about 55 inches. Interestingly, the stand here is very lightweight, seemingly made entirely out of plastic. It's simple to install though, just slotting into the cutout on the back and fixing it into place with the screws provided. There is a 300 by 200 vase mount on the back if you did want to wall mount it to save space, but today we'll be utilising the stand mount. Now getting into the inputs, you won't find a huge amount here, which is understandable for an entry-level model. Just inside the cutout on the back, you get a LAN for Ethernet connection, two HDMIs that both support 4K at 120Hz with one supporting eARC, an optical digital audio out, and the satellite and cable connections. There's also two USBs, two standard 2.0 HDMIs, and a common interface slot. It's great to see that some of the most used inputs are conveniently placed along the left-hand side for easy access when it's wall-mounted. Setting up the TV, the process is very similar to the previous year, requiring you to sign into your LG account, set up a network or aerial, or choose a few selected features to enable straight away if you want to. Now something that has had a bit of a facelift is the main menu. Now if you don't have access to a games console or a satellite streaming service box, then you'll most likely gravitate to this home menu for all of your apps and settings. Compared to last year, I feel there are more recommended tiles and ads here that can clutter up the menu more than I'd like. But mostly I like the easy access to my most used apps, and particularly the addition of the recent input tile in the top corner that takes you instantly back to your favourite input. Now you will find access to the majority of the most popular streaming services out there, like Netflix, Disney Plus, and Prime Video, but you can also benefit from the little extras that you exclusively get with this LG TV, like the gallery mode, falling nicely into the modern trend of transforming your TV into a space for displaying art when it's not in use. Now the menu system is something that has also stayed the same, with a quick access pop-up menu along the side for quickly toggling picture and sound modes, as well as the regular main settings menu for more detailed alterations. I did notice a few extras this time round though, like the detailed OLED care menu and multi-view. You also get the magic remote here, which works just the same as the previous iterations, helping you navigate through the dashboard easier with the buttons or the pointer, as well as housing those quick access buttons for your most used streaming apps. So getting into the display specifications here, we have a 4K OLED display with a 3840 by 2160 resolution. It has an A7 Gen 5 processor, which is a step higher than the previous Gen 4 seen on the B1. As an OLED though, you'll benefit highly from its consistent self-lit pixels for an even brightness and boosted colour. Though it's not as high-tech as the C2, you do still get that little extra luxury from a budget model, with perfect blacks and colour, as well as a good handful of AI features and a game mode to really enhance everything you watch. With all of that in mind, I dove right into looking at the overall performance of the display. I tried out a variety of content from TV shows to games to see how well it presented in terms of contrast, colour, brightness and viewing angle. The B2 boasts inclusion of a whole host of automatic picture support. There's an extensive list of AI features at play, including the Picture Pro setting for adaptive control across all your content, AI upscaling for older content, intelligent brightness, and of course AI sound. Using all of these together, you won't even need to touch the settings as often as you used to, as it adapts everything across the board to deliver a hypothetically perfect image. Of course, you can manually adjust these settings if you're familiar with the manual sliders or know what looks best based on your previous LG TV experience, but mostly these AI functions, along with the picture and sound modes, easily keep the picture picture at its best in both light and dark conditions. Now, as I am reviewing this TV, I want to get the best performance possible from it. For the majority of the time, I kept the peak brightness on high and increased the OLED panel brightness as well as disabling eco mode just to get an accurate picture of all of the settings at peak performance. But as this is an OLED, you may want to avoid doing this yourself as it will significantly increase the risk of burn-in over time. I did like the new inclusion of the OLED panel care menu, however, that opened up a bit more support to avoid the dreaded burn-in. I would highly recommend looking into these features as it does help self-diagnosis for potential problems and of course holds all of your settings that help save energy, which is becoming more and more crucial at this current time. Watching some of my favourite movies, I found the picture to be overall vivid in colour and relatively clear. Even with the brightness on as high as it will go, it did suffer a little in those darker scenes, not quite bringing out that detail and shadows as well as I'd like. But mostly, the colour stood out for me. Football games looked beautifully bright as well as natural, which was a relief. Despite it not being a flagship model in the range, I could still see the signature quality I expect from LG TVs, and though some instances like sharpness and brightness was a bit of a letdown, I was by no means disappointed by the quality considering the price. Picture modes are indeed my go-to for manipulating picture style quickly while constantly swapping between different types of content. There are about 8 to choose from, just about making the perfect companion settings to anything I want to watch. As always, I still don't favour the filmmaker mode, as I find it just too dark for most movies, but I always jump between the ISF bright and dark modes, as I feel these bring out the brightness and colour to stand out strong based on the light conditions rather than what it thinks the picture should look like for a particular genre. The viewing angle is as ever very clear with no distortion when looking at a sharp angle. The glare's not exactly unnoticeable, but thankfully it's mostly only visible in those darker scenes when in a bright room, making no impact on the brighter, colourful or detailed parts of the picture which you'll see most of the time. When it comes to sound, I found it to be perfectly decent for watching movies and playing games. Sure, the sound output didn't blow me away, but I did find it very clear even on half volume, and all aspects of audio both in music, dialogue and action sequences were loud enough to hear even when on the other side of the room. Now you do get a 20-watt downfiring speaker, which is perfectly sufficient for picking up even audio in your average living space. Of course, it's not as detailed as the C2 output, but it does have some fantastic AI features like AI Sound Pro, Clear Voice Pro, and most interestingly, having Dolby Atmos support. Just like the picture, the AI features do make a difference when leaving these features to do all the hard work in the background, maintaining that level, consistent sound. I thought the sound was much punchier when having the Sound Pro active, which was good for those instances of quiet dialogue in busy movie scenes. But of course, it is always hard to take my word for it, so here's a small sample of the audio output to give you an idea on the quality on offer here. Finally, it's important to see how well this TV performs when playing some games, especially when considering the support it will need for higher performance games on those next-gen consoles. I was surprised to see that the B1 including just as much gaming support here that you could find on the C2. Now there's a full game optimizer mode with a game bar and some highly essential supporting features. I played both Forza Horizon 5 and Apex Legends to see just how well it would cope with some casual gaming over a few hours. Not only could I game at full 4K at 120Hz without a hitch, there's also G-Sync, FreeSync Premium and Dolby Vision support too that grants a much more comfortable experience when playing fast-paced, high-speed motion games like Forza Horizon 5. Now if you wanted a TV for gaming specifically, then this model is definitely worth considering. I love the game bar for keeping an eye on all the performance stats. In the few hours of gameplay though, I found no faults, which was surprising, seeing the B2 effortlessly keep up with even the most high-performing titles out there. Now this TV is a steal for those who use their console and want all of those amazing benefits without those additional luxuries that the higher price models offer. So after using the B2 for a few days, I found this TV to be just a little more than I expected. The overall quality was relatively sound despite it not being as sharp or vibrant as some of the higher end models that I've seen this year, but it's by no means low in terms of quality. The colours pop incredibly well and movies and shows do come out consistently clear no matter the genre. Though the brightness is something I would have liked to have seen improved, it didn't affect the overall picture quality, finding picture modes, adaptive adaptive brightness, and AI features working hard in the background to keep the picture at its best. Gaming was exceptionally great, keeping up with even the higher performing games with ease while offering a delightfully rich and detailed picture throughout. So if you're looking for a TV on a budget that holds some of the luxuries of the higher end models, then this TV might just be the perfect solution for any modern home. So what are your thoughts on the LG B2? Let us know in the comments below, and if you like this video, don't forget to like and subscribe to Box, where we have plenty of hands-on reviews on the latest tech. And as always, thanks for watching.